All right, hey everybody. This is Independent Outsider. I have a couple of things to say. So first, thank you so much for letting me know. Angelica Duenes, she's not going to be able to have our interview, have our discussion this Wednesday at 2 p.m. So we will be rescheduling it as soon as possible. I will let everybody know as soon as I know the rescheduled time. And the second thing that I want to talk about is a little bit of strategy, but it's so obvious that it's like I came to a light bulb moment. I just watched LB the Realist, his video on Donald Trump wanting to make some drug dealing a federal offense. Here is my issue. There is an attack on the individual without giving accountability to large entities, such as corporations, such as the military, such as, very, very wealthy. We need to play a little judo, a little bit of informational judo. First thing is, okay, you want to do that? All right. Remember Citizens United? Corporations are people, right? What about Monsanto? What about drug companies that are, I understand with the FDA, but drug companies that are polluting? What are we going to do with that? Increase the penalties for them. I'm not calling for the death penalty, although, Monsanto, why don't we just dissolve Monsanto? I know that's not going to happen. Mitt Romney, we have one, I believe Clarence Thomas used to work for Monsanto or lobby for Monsanto. We have politicians in with Monsanto. But if we're going to hold individuals accountable, we need to hold corporations and the government accountable as well. All of this talk, and I believe that all the talk on gun control is a distraction, and it has us fighting amongst ourselves because it's about individuals and taking things away from the individuals when they haven't done anything. Fine, you want to talk about gun control? What about the military-industrial complex? What about the glut of weapons? And I'm not talking about take guns away from our soldiers. I'm not saying that, or take guns away from our cops. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is there is just an insane glut of weapons. So why don't we do that? I did notice something. There was a bill, I believe it was the state, Minnesota State, put out a bill. I believe it was SF 3022. I will check it again and I'll put it up. You have to be a certain age unless you are in the military. So it's a systematic de-arming of citizens. Personally, I don't like guns. I hate guns. I don't want a gun. And if it comes to it, and if it comes to where it's so desperate that I actually need a gun, we're kind of already screwed anyway. But it is part of the Constitution. It is the Second Amendment. And why are we stripping away what was written. It worked for 200 years. It's an attack on individuals' rights. It's one thing if you did something wrong. It's another thing. Now, the drug thing, they're talking about large-scale offenders right now. I'm afraid of kind of the domino effect to where they move it down and push it down and push it down. So be careful. Be careful when things like that come along. And I appreciate LB for pointing it out. And we're fighting to get marijuana decriminalized. You're talking about the opioid crisis. Fine. You want to give harsher penalties to drug dealers? How about the corporations that are pushing opioids? I'm not saying get rid of opioids, but is it possible that people who need them, they need them, but these guys are making a ton of freaking money on this. And you think that Joe Manchin or whoever, anybody in the pharmaceutical company really gives a damn about who takes the product that they're selling as long as it gives them money? We need to get a little bit smarter. When I'm in the union, listen, if I do something wrong, yeah, the individual has to be held accountable. But when the establishment, which in my case, the union's case is management, does something wrong, we have to hold them accountable too. They're not being held accountable right now, and we're fighting amongst ourselves. We're on our heels because all of this stuff is coming along. So, just wanted to make sure. I don't know who's on here. I just wanted to say something real quick. A light bulb came off in my head. Everybody's fighting each other. We need to redirect the fight. We really do. That's what politicians, I mean, come on. Redirect accountability. I'm not saying that we don't have to be accountable, but at the same time, those in power also have to be held accountable, and they're not, obviously. And who's going to hold them accountable? The people who are doing the stuff that's wrong in the first place? It boggles my mind when we, I don't think the legislation is going to do this, but we always complain about the politicians and we run to them to fix it legislatively. We need to point all this out. We need people to start realizing what's going on. So that was all I had to say. You guys, I'll check chat in a minute, see if anybody's stirred up. I have no problem, going on another Zoom chat, but I wanted to do this one. All right. So you guys, thank you so much. Independent Outsider out.